In a podcast about college football, it is weird to start off by talking about college basketball. I've always respected Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo in the basketball world because he has said, we'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere, and he's lived up to it. They have played damn near anybody, anytime, anywhere. They have played North Carolina on the deck of a Navy ship, for Pete's sake. They say, we'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere, and they have lived up to it. There are a lot of college football coaches who will pretend like they'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere, and they don't mean it. They don't live up to it. They don't schedule difficult. They don't schedule teams that will make them battle-tested or could potentially put a number in the loss column that they don't like. But I believe BYU head coach Kalani Sitake, when he said at Big 12 Media Days, you want to settle it on the field? Let's settle it on the field. You say, hey, the SEC's the best conference. The Big 10's the best conference. The Big 12 believes they're the deepest conference. Let's settle it on the field. His kind of proposal, which isn't like we by the way, sidebar, we use the term proposal a lot, right? That this isn't really a proposal. Nobody's ever going to do this. Nobody's ever going to agree to this. But it should be how it is. He says, we play 3 non-conference games. Let's play an ACC team, an SEC team, and a Big 10 team. Put them on the schedule. I don't know why anybody would ever say no to that. Because, and this has been a point of contention I've had with the Power 5 and now the Power 4 for a long time, is if you're going to tell me how much better you are than everybody else, if the bottom rung teams of the Power 5 and Power 4 are so significantly better than the best teams in the group of 5, okay, that's fine. But you all should just play yourselves then at that point. Make it a quasi-split without adding an FCS, FBS, and an FBCS in the mix. Power 4 should just play Power 4. No more cupcakes on the schedule. No more loading your schedule up with a team you're going to pay $1.8 million to come to your place, beat their ass, give them a check, and send them on their way. No more of that there. You don't get to do that any longer. I think that the ACC, SEC, Big 10, and Big 12 should get on the same board. We're going to play 9 conference games, each and every one of us. And all teams in our leagues are going to play their 3 non-conference games against the 3 other Power 4 schools. You don't get to schedule cupcakes anymore. You don't get your bye games where you're paying MAC, Sunbelt, Mountain West, Conference USA schools $2 million to come make sure you have a home game on that Saturday. If you're going to tell me how important it is that you get the autonomy, that you get to view yourself as the sultan of college football, that you're the king of the crop, the 10,000-pound gorilla, no more playing in the kiddie box. No more playing in the sand with Tonka trucks with the group of 5 schools. If you're that much better and you're that much bigger and better, more accomplished, and on just this different level, then prove it. Act like it. Play that way. They're never going to do that because they'll give you this poppycock bullcrap about how, we have to have 8 home games because if we don't, the local community, the local business community, these businesses rely on us. They don't give a damn about the local business, the local community, the local economy. They care about having as many numbers in the win column as possible and as few numbers in the loss column as possible. Now, should there be some exceptions to this? Certainly. For instance, Cincinnati, for 100 years, has played Miami of Ohio. It's a very close game. It's kind of devolved from a rivalry as Cincinnati has grown and Miami has not played as well recently in the Mid-American Conference, but they've played for 110 years. If Cincinnati wants to keep playing Miami, and that series is set to end. But if you have those situations where, say, Houston wants to play Sam Houston or whatever the case may be. You can apply to the college football czar that's never going to exist either and say, hey, we would like to do this instead of playing another Power 4 school. You get a waiver or whatever. Does that probably hurt your college football playoff chances? Maybe, but only if you were actually going to be in the college football playoff race. You expect your teams to go 4-8 for the next 3 years. Who gives a damn? Schedule bad teams. But the point still stands. If Kalani Sitake wants to play an ACC school, a Big Ten school, and an SEC school every year in the non-conference instead of somebody from the Mountain West, Sun Belt, Conference USA, whatever, do it. Do it. Nothing's stopping you. Except for the fact that everybody wants a big number in the win column and a little number in the loss column. Because I'm here to tell you that that's what the College Football Playoff Committee is almost always likely to prioritize as well. There are going to be very few instances where if BYU is 9-3 and they go 9-0 in the Big 12, but their 3 losses all out of conference were to, let's say, the number 1, 2, and 3 ranked teams in the country. They don't get the benefit of the doubt. They aren't going to be viewed as the 4th best team in the country because they've got 3 losses. That's just kind of the way that like the cucumber Brussels sprout people who run the college football playoff are going to operate until the end of time. But this is a proposal that I can 100% get on board with. We don't have enough of the marquee teams playing each other in college football. So, to rectify that problem, and this is, I have this issue not just in college football, but in a lot of aspects in life. I would rather we see there be a problem, look at the problem and say, well, let's try this. And if that didn't work, okay, let's try something else, rather than sit here and go, well, that's a problem. Okay, what are we going to do to fix it? Well, nothing, because it's a problem, and what you suggest is never going to fix it. Okay, well, you have to do something. And if the problem is twofold, one, we don't have enough marquee matchups interconference between Big Ten versus SEC, ACC versus Big 12, etc., however you want to draw those lines outside of bowl season. We don't have a ton of those, and I think there should be more. I think you probably think there should be more too, because, for instance, Ohio State's non-conference schedule this year. First game of the year is against Texas. Huge game. Big-time matchup. Going to be a great atmosphere. Going to be 10 million people watching on TV. It's going to be awesome. Their next 2 non-conference games are against Grambling State and Ohio. Do you think they're going to have 10 million viewers? They're not. And Texas's non-conference schedule isn't great outside of their game against Ohio State. I would rather see, and I think most college football fans would rather see, Texas then go on to play after playing Ohio State to start their to start their season, let alone their non-conference season. They're instead of playing San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston State, I would venture to guess that both Texas fans and college football fans as a whole would rather see Texas then go on to play somebody like Clemson, Florida State, Miami, Boston College, North Carolina, Wake Forest, North Carolina State, Syracuse, Louisville, and then somebody like Colorado, Utah. Pick your Big 12 here, Kansas State, Iowa State, whatever, then San Jose, UTEP, and Sam Houston. I think college football is better in that situation. So if that is one, like that's one side of the coin, we don't have enough marquee matchups, then everybody get on the same page and say, hey, we're just going to play each other in non-conference. There's going to be a lot of scuttlebutt. There's going to be a lot of people bitching and complaining like, well, how am I going to have a softball team if you don't give me $1.8 million? Well, you got to figure it out. Dog eat dog world, baby. On the flip side of that coin, if the Big 12 and ACC feel as if they are being left behind by the Big 10 and SEC, and that those two conferences are unfairly calling themselves the Power 2 and believe that they have an upper leg even on the ACC and Big 12, then the ACC and Big 12 should be incentivized to say, you know what, screw it. Let's just play these teams every year and figure it out. Let's settle it on the field. And I think that's an undeniably good way to operate going forward. What happens on the field should matter most, rather than just the Big 10 and SEC say, well, we're better than everybody else. And make no mistake about it, the statistics certainly appear to back that up. But I don't want appearances to back things up. I want, we had 11 on 11, somebody won and somebody lost. So can we get to a point where the ACC, Big 12, Big 10, and SEC all say, hey, we're just going to schedule each other in the non-conference? No, absolutely not, because that would be what's best for college football, and you can't get everybody pulling in the same direction. At the same time, my fear would be that if you say, hey, yeah, we're going to do this. This is what we're going to do. All four of us, we're all going to get on 9-game conference schedule, 3 non-conference games we're going to play within ourselves. That everybody's going to run to schedule Northwestern, Vanderbilt, and Wake Forest and be like, hey, yes, we did what we were supposed to do. Aren't we awesome? We were within the rules. No, it's not awesome. No, it's not great. Does it probably then only help like TV executives at ESPN and Fox? Yeah, which I'm also not in the habit of appeasing. I don't want to make them think that they are running college football any more than they already are. But from a pure football, 11 on 11, what happens between the 153 and the 30-yard lines, I think it's difficult to argue that that wouldn't be, one, really cool, and then 2, what's best for the sport overall. I appreciate the candor and the ambition from BYU head coach Kalani Sitake. And if he wants to set the standard, go ahead and strive. Go ahead and start. Strive for 3 Power 4 non-conference games every year. But I'll believe it when I see it, and I don't believe we'll ever see it. That'll do it for today's episode of the Daily Huddle. Appreciate you making us a part of your day, however it is, wherever it is you're doing so. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're getting all the great college football content we're pumping out. If you're listening on a podcast, drop a 5-star review. It goes a long way in helping out the channel. I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the Daily Huddle.